I want to start with this phrase. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will think his whole life that it's stupid. It's a quote by Albert Einstein. So let's take a moment. I want you guys to try to guess what is this drawing. Pretty easy, right? I mean, it's a doggy. However, it's not perfect, it's not symmetrical, it's not even using the right colors, but it gives a message, right? What if I told you that you were a creative genius when you were 5 years old? And not just you, everybody in this room. There is a famous study by George Land, a scientist who made a creativity test for NASA. He decided to run this test on a group of kindergartners around 5 years old. The results, 98% of them scored at a genius level. That means at a certain point we all had endless possibilities to create and to build without hesitation. But he didn't stop there. He decided to test the kids again at the age of 10. The results, genius level dropped to 30%. 15 years old, 12%. Adulthood, 2%. So what happened? How did we go from almost all of us in this room to be a genius to almost none of us? So today, I want to explain about this and creativity. So, creative thinkers, people who can put things together in different ways and embrace that uncertainty, are better and more successful at business, problem solving, and personal relationships. The World Economic Forum ranks creativity among the top 3 most valuable skills in the future workplace. And yet, we almost let it fade. What if we can get that creativity back? Because creativity is not only for entrepreneurs, for artists or musicians, but for all of us. And the good news is, we can retrain our brain to be creative again. Of course, we need to be able to step out of the comfort zone and try to see the world in a different way. Need to catch up a little bit. So we live in a society that labels people, right? You're creative, they say to the artist. You're logical, they say to the engineer. You're analytical, they say to the accountant. But what if I can tell you creativity is just not a label, and it's not for people, but for all of us, right? So I asked a kid to make a draw of myself, and this is what we got. And that's why, as I said, I love it because it gives the message, right? I'm Carlos Lastres, a software engineer and senior product designer based in Tokyo. And I have dedicated my life to build digital experiences, to build and grow in digital experiences. I grew up in a small country in Central America, Costa Rica, with endless blue skies and beautiful sunshines. I had the most lovely and caring family. But as in many countries, society encourages you to pick up a good paying career, to follow the correct path, right? To always color within the lines. They used to say, creativity is for the dreamers without a job. So, and that's how I started my journey. I decided to start my career as a software engineer, but I was always adding a little bit of creativity here and there, and people love it. Things move on. life was good, but in my early 20s, I lost my mom to cancer. Imagine that person you care the most just vanishes in front of you. Of course, I felt like a part of me died that day. Somehow that moment changed everything. Grief has a way to stripping you down to the core, and it makes you ask the big questions. What am I here for? What do I want to create? How do I want to be remembered? And what do I want to do? So, when you don't have anything to lose, as I said, I lost the person I love the most, you take bigger risks. So that's me on the plane. I decided to move to Asia, and I started in China, where I spent 7 years learning and growing as a man. Of course, I was feeling lost time after time, but knowing somehow that was a good decision. Then I came to Japan. I became fascinated by this culture of discipline, structure, and work ethic. But I saw something heartbreaking. People who have given up on their creativity, who had accepted that their lives should be linear. Study hard, get a good job, work late, and repeat. Does it sound familiar? So let's get back to the fish, right? Einstein fish. What about if your creative genius isn't in the standard path? What about if it is in writing, designing, building things, or just seeing the world differently, right? Unfortunately, the truth is creativity is beaten out of us, not intentionally, but slowly, systematically. Of course, society rewards the people who follow the rules. They are easy to control. But creativity thrives in exploration, thrives in that intersection of different ideas. And that's what I want us, all of us, to get together back. Okay, we have been talking about a lot what is creativity. So, in my words and the way I see it, creativity is just putting different things together to solve a problem, give a message, like the little doggy or my drawing, or just creating something different. It's not about perfection. It's about getting broken pieces and create something meaningful. Now, studies have shown that creativity is built on 3 things. Resilience. And many speakers talk about that today, which was very nice. The ability to keep going even when things are not working out. Exploration. You gotta be willing to explore new ideas, new cultures, and different fields. And of course, failure. We gotta embrace that failure and get out of the fear. So, in Japan, when you travel across the world, loneliness becomes your greatest teacher. Just imagine, I'm a Latino, full of tattoos, living in Japan. I often found myself in the room looking like me, thinking like me, working like me. At the beginning, that isolation felt heavy. Like I was shattered into pieces in a place where nothing quite fit. But that's the good thing about broken pieces. When you put them back together, it creates something new. And that's actually what innovation is about. One of the biggest breakthroughs and people that have made like incredible discoveries is because they needed to put back together those pieces, right? It's not gonna happen if you feel just comfortable and you're gonna always stay in the same area. So we define what's creativity. We talk about a little bit that it's okay to feel broken from time to time, that we can put ourselves. But how can we retrain that creativity back? So we can split it out into 5 pieces. Write things down. And that's very important, and I like the self-delivery method. That was good. You have no idea how your brain reorganizes when you write up things, not manually, not digitally, but manually. Then expose yourself. Go and take classes or workshops or anything outside of your expertise, of your field of work. Embrace failure. Again, we need to get rid of that fear. I consider myself successful because I have failed. I have failed more times than the average person has ever tried. Change your routine. Try to take a new route to work, listen to a new type of music, eat something new. And the most important, ask better questions. Instead of, can I do this, ask yourself, how can I do this? Instead of asking yourself, why, ask yourself, why not? So last year, at a national Japanese university, they found something amazing. There was a study about the students who step out of the academic comfort zone and they start to study other fields, and they found out that they can understand the challenges of the global environment and work. That means they were just not learning, they were learning how to think differently. And you guys can ask, why does this matter to us? Because in Japan, you are told to specialize, to focus only in one thing, to master your craft, right? But what about when you're looking for new ideas and you want to improve your work? Maybe the answer isn't to work harder at what you're doing. Maybe the answer is to step into something different. As I said, putting those pieces together is the source of innovation, because the next breakthrough in your career might come from the place you never expected. Again, creativity is not a gift. It's not some divine lightning bolt. It's a skill. And actually, it's a survival skill. And as a skill, it can be learned. The same way you learn how to speak a language, how to play an instrument, how to even read on a bike. With the advice I give you today, we can get back that creativity. Next time somebody tells you, you know what, I don't think I'm creative, just remind them, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will think his whole life that it's stupid. Don't let yourself be that fish. Go and make something, build something, write something, design something. I made it full of tattoos in Japan. You guys can make it too, of course. The most important thing is the world needs your ideas. Japan is such a beautiful country, known for its craftsmanship, precision, and technological advancements, and yet struggling to fostering new ideas. We all need to be more creative and get back to the world. And that, my friends, is what creativity is about. Thank you very much.